We got one of them with us right now. If you watch The Shy, I'm gonna open up the phone lines 888-743 74 what is it? 888-742-3345.
3345.
Okay.
That quarantine, bruh.
Yo, I don't know what just
Get to the
happened.
brain.
Yo, we got the man that plays him in Washington with us, man. The one and only Jacob Latimore is here. Big round of applause, Jacob.
Hey, Jacob.
What's
Such a
happening?
great
What's
name.
happening? What's happening? Hey
Man, what
man,
up?
Sway, you do the best intros all time, bro.
Oh man, I had a big one for you, but I forgot the phone number to our own station, so I was going I was gonna start naming Detroit, Collateral Beauty. I mean, I was gonna start naming all your movies, the Christmas movie, all of those different things. I was like, man, if I can't remember the phone number, I might not remember the movies.
Oh
Wow.
man, it's just I've been blessed to be able to do a lot of things at a young age. It's still the beginning though, so I can't wait. I can't wait to see what's next.
Yeah, man. Congratulations too on all your success. I mean, and the fact that you started. What are you, like 8 or 9 when you first put out your first single? What was it? Best
Yeah,
Friend.
man.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
That was your. I
yeah, I was.
remember. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I was 9 years old when I released that, and I moved to Atlanta about 11 years old. Got signed to Jive Records at 13, and I just had a great group of people, supporting me, with just anything I wanted to do. So, and then I sort of fell into acting when I came to Atlanta as well, and that, grew a lot more than, I thought it ever would. So it's a blessing.
Wow. Jacob, what's up? It's Heather. How you doing? And I'm sure that people just by your last name, and you may have broke it down before, but I haven't heard the family tree a little bit. By your last name, obviously, people think of Kenny Lattimore, and then the guys. And I know Kenny from R&B, but I know Kenny personally, and I know him from gospel music as well. Or what is this part of the family tree? Where, if so, generationally, where did you guys get the voice from, and this thing of talent that all of y'all seem to have?
Right. It's so funny. Just with everything that's been going on, I've always been, into my family history, but now I've been into it a hell of a lot deeper now. You know what
Wow.
I'm saying?
Okay. Okay.
Like where we really come from. You know what I'm saying? So I just,
Yeah.
it's really crazy how the gift just passes down. From
Mhm.
the jazz singer, Lattimore, with the two T's in his name.
Right.
And I always wonder why I was certain, like, it was two T's in some of my cousins' names, but it was only one T in mine. And then now we learning about slave masters and all this stuff now. It's just like, it's a lot to take in, but, I'm just so happy to, sort of carry on this legacy of just great singers in my family. My dad's father sung, and my dad and my uncles, still singing today. So it's just always been around me. I grew up with it in my household. I grew up to 4-part, 5-part harmony being sung, in the kitchen, like, all day long. So as a kid, I just absorbed that, and then I started to fall in love with movies that mirrored that same thing, like The Temptations, The American Dream Story. When B2K came out, it was one of my favorite groups. I was like, like dancing and cutting the sleeves off to my t-shirts to their music. It's like, what I'm saying? I was just inspired by just entertainment and Michael Jackson, obviously, and I've been able to meet some of my idols, and they respect me on that level too. So it's super dope.
Yeah, and it's super dope too that you going back in history. We've been having a lot of conversations about history as well. So salute to you, Jacob. That's dope.
Jacob
Yeah.
Latimore is with us. Who are some of those idols that you mentioned that you've been able to meet? Like who thrilled you?
Man, I remember meeting O at a young age. Omarion.
Omarion, yeah.
Yeah, I remember meeting the whole group at a young age, and then eventually I met Usher. I met Usher like prime time, like confessions time. I'm talking about, like, I was like, oh my God, he's the guy, like, this the guy right here. And then I watched the Truth tour, Confessions tour, like, every day. Like, I remember when I was able to go on my first tour, I mimicked his outfit with the star on the back, with the all white and the blazer. I was like, this me, this what I'm doing. And yeah, man. So, and I eventually saw Chris not too long ago, probably like last year when he was on the road. He came to Chicago while we was out there filming. He was on tour or whatever. So I pulled up on him, and he was just talking about how he just loving some of my music videos that I've been out, and it's so, the internet is so interesting because you never really know who's watching, So really dope to get that acknowledgement, and it kind of motivates you to keep going too, because sometimes the industry can get discouraging when you feel like it ain't growing like the way you want to, but a lot of people are watching, so it's dope.
Have you ever reached that point? I mean, because when you look at your discography and you just look at your your resume with all the movies you've done, from Ride Along to The Maze Runner, which one of my favorite movies. When did you think? At what point in your career were you ever unsure that people were watching or that you were succeeding?
Just in like certain aspects of just my career, I feel like the film definitely like blew up, bigger than I thought it would. Mm-hmm. But I also feel like it wasn't until I feel like I had great looks on the film side, but it wasn't until The Shy, to me, that it was a true impact. You know what I mean? Like Collateral Beauty was amazing, but for me, it was like until when The Shy came out, when I walked down the street, it was like, yo, Emmy. It was like this, like, it was different. You know what I'm saying? It was just a different kind of impact. So what I learned is that, box office numbers are really amazing. They're really dope, but impact is way more important. Yeah. And, with The Shy, it's touched the community on such a level, and it's so relatable. It wasn't until I did something more simpler, like a character like Emmett, which was like super relatable, like a guy down the block that we may all know in each of our neighborhoods, and it was just too relatable. It was too spot on. The timing was too perfect, and I'm still grateful for everything that's happened in my career, but I think also it's a thing for me not always being satisfied, always wanting to just keep going and not being content where I'm at, you know what I mean? And always wanting to strive for bigger goals and bigger opportunities too. So, but overall, I know people have been watching. It's just sometimes this is just a shocker, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, so the feeling you have when you're in that studio or you're in that acting room alone, you feel like what you're doing is great, and then you just sort of start to receive that love, not just online but in person, and face to face. So it was dope.
Jacob, do you get nervous before you go into new rooms? Because I'm imagining with The Shy, especially looking at all the success of Lena Waithe, being not only a producer, an executive producer, but a phenomenal actor, and also a lot of people look at as a life coach. And also just, when you climb up the ladder of success, there's also just more risk and value involved as well. Do your nerves get shaken up at all?
I feel like you're nervous when you're unprepared. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, all the things that's happened in my career has led me to certain points, and I feel like God wouldn't put me in a place where I feel like I couldn't handle it. So I think sometimes new environments can be somewhat scary before you step into them, but as soon as you step in there, as soon as I step in there, I feel good. I just be myself and, treat people a certain way and just be kind to everybody. I think that's really the core of it, and just, be who I am. I think that's always worked for me.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob
Nice.
Jacob Latimore is with us. You know him as Emmett Washington. Season 3 of the series The Shy is premiering this Sunday on Showtime at 9 p.m. There are going to be some changes. I remember reading that Jason Mitchell will not be returning to the show because of the misconduct allegations. I know you and Jay, I'm assuming you guys were friends. Haven't worked so close together. Did the company have any type of talk with the actors when this decision was made, or did y'all get into any safe spaces and kind of discuss what happened, or was it just an announcement and you keep moving forward? How did that work?
I remember season 2, the start of season 2, they started to for almost every show that was filming on the lot was going through these or sort of human resources courses, and like had to listen to these lectures about what to do and what not to do on set. and that started to pick up a little heavy. Now the release of Jason was a surprise to, I'm not sure for everybody else, but a surprise definitely for me, because the first time I heard about it was just online,
Yeah.
and before I even got a chance to really speak to him, and it just it kind of had me down all day, and I was just like, what's up with season 3? Like, how we gonna keep moving forward, and how we gonna do it? So I think my first instinct was just to call him and just show him a lot of love, and sort of just be there for him as like a little brother, as family, because this is not our first project together. We did Detroit together. We hung out. We built a bond and built a friendship, a brotherhood, and I just I've always just wanted the best for him, because I feel like he is one of the best black actors in the game. Like, I don't think, I think Jason is the guy, when it comes to, that on-screen performance. He's just captivating. He's magnetic. There is no replacing, Jason Mitchell in The Shy. So it's just, I was a little concerned about how we were going to move forward. And yes, it definitely wasn't brought up to me that he was going to be gone. I think it was an abrupt decision, because companies have to, do things like, at that minute, because, agencies and big companies, they won't attach themselves to those allegations. You know what I mean? So it was just a bad position for him.
A bad time. Okay. Well, you worried that, man, shit, I'm about to lose a job?
Yeah, I was. I mean, I felt like we wasn't gonna get another season, or I just didn't know. You know what I mean? I think when you don't know, you think the worst things. You know what I mean? But as soon as we came in for the meeting for season 3, hey, we shooting season 3 in this time, and I'm just like, what? We shooting season 3? And I meet with the new showrunners and writers, and they just like, hey, this happens all the time. I've dealt with this plenty of times. This is we got the pen. Like, we can write this show, and they just kind of gave that confidence in me and all the cast, I think, to just stay motivated and attack this season 3 like never before. And man, I think people are really gonna enjoy it. I feel like it's definitely going to be different. I feel like season 3 is almost maybe a year or 2 later after season 2. It just feels a little different. Everybody's a little more mature. The kids are growing up a little more. So some time has passed, and we're sort of doing like a whole new backstory now.
Something else, you guys, that's pretty dope that you're doing. You're doing this special concert event on YouTube that's taking place. It's a fundraiser, right? It's called The Shy with Love, and this is going to also be on Sunday at 7 p.m. or on theshywithlove.com. Are you a part of this?
Yeah, I'm performing 3 songs off my album.
Okay, off the C3 album?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, now the C3 album got 35 songs on it, man.
No, so this is what happened. So I've dropped 3 albums over the course of these 3 or 4 years. So the first album I dropped, Connection 1, was in 2016, and then Connection 2 I released last year, April 2019, and then this year I released Connection 3. So the first 11 songs are the newest songs from the Connection 3 album. Yeah. But I decided to re-release the last 2 albums with the last chapter of Connection. That this is an independent album for me. So I was just like, let me just throw out all my music, because I felt like people were still discovering the music I released a long time ago. You know what I mean? I was still seeing tweets like, y'all heard the Jacob Latimore album? I didn't know it was like this. I didn't know he was sounding like this. I ain't seen him since he was this age. You know what I mean? So being that my music was still growing, I just decided to throw 35 songs out, and I wanted to do it boldly, and I want people to take their time with it, because it's a lot of great music on there, and a lot of songwriters and producers, spent a lot of time to make sure my album was, as best as it could be. So I wanted to make sure, my music shine. So I re-put it out.
You put it out. I'm not mad at that. Plus, it's independent. People going to rediscover it. The Shy premiering Sunday, that works with it. The Showtime presents The Shy with Love. You being smart. You being a marketing person. You're doing what you have to do when you're independent. You don't have a department behind you doing these things. Trevor Jackson's on it. We talked to Trevor not too long ago. It's interesting because Heather brought up your family. And I believe your father and your uncle was in the Latimore brothers, correct?
Yep.
Yep.
When they were R&B, Randy Jackson had signed them to MCA. They were called Jersey Ave when they were singing R&B, and then they went over to gospel, and then the Latimore brothers. So
okay,
they was rocking.
Okay, Kenny Latimore is your cousin.
Yep.
When your uncle. But Heather, here's the thing, because the dude got royal bloodline, and we talking gospel music. But when I listen to songs like Details,
yeah,
cracking up, laughing like me.
I'm listening to the song, and I'm like, this dude, this is the furthest thing from gospel. Maybe it is gospel to some women. I don't know, to hear the way you talking about Details. But I mean the term, the word play on it, the dripping, when you come out the shower, emphasizing on come, all these different intricate details. Are you writing these lyrics? Is this you writing?
No, not me totally, man. I got to give it to a lot of. I surround myself around a lot of great songwriters. My guy Brandon Rossi, this guy named Garen, this girl named Kiera. Everybody, this guy named Kevin Ross. They wrote a lot of dope songs for me on all three projects. I think for me, I have a big say so on the topics I want to talk about and the swag I want to approach with the music. So this last project, I wanted to be a little more confident. I wanted to say some things in some clever ways, but also take people back like, whoa, like is that Jacob saying that? You know what I'm saying? So I definitely wanted to shine that light on that type of music and just really sort of step into that character a little bit.
I think you accomplished that. Is that Kevin Ross? I know Kevin Ross. Kevin had the candle commercial. Yeah. We did some. I sat down with Kevin once and had a wonderful conversation. Kevin doesn't age. Look, I'm gonna play Details off the project, man. But I feel like this is the first of many conversations we should have together. I really appreciate who you are as an artist. I love watching you on your videos, on your TikTok. That's and you could dance, bro. I like your moves. And when you mentioned Michael Jackson and you mentioned Chris Brown, and I was thinking that, this dude is from that lineage, and I mean that as a compliment, because a lot of folks are studio artists where they could get in croon, on a mic and with enough effect make a great song. But there's all around performing artists like yourself are the kind that I'm attracted to. So, man, congratulations on all your success, okay?
Oh, man, I appreciate that, man. That's love.
Absolutely. Jacob Latimore, tell people if they want to reach you how they can find you, bro.
Man, get me on Instagram at Jacob Latimore on everything, Twitter, Facebook, all that.
Okay. I'm going to play his freaky song Details. Ladies, if you like it, get at him. This dude right here, man. Every song, man, I was like, this dude, Jacob's a freak. But great. What you say, Heather?
He busy.
No, I'm just laughing.
Well, okay. Get the new album, C3. The music sounds great, man. You're right in the pocket. Congratulations. We'll be watching The Shy this Sunday, and then also the Showtime presents The Shy with Love Sunday at 7 p.m. at theshywithlove.com. Jacob Latimore, thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
Hey, much love to y'all, man.
You too.
All right.
You too.
Here's Details on Shade 45.